What's eating you? Psychology Eats is here to help you. What's eating you? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome back to Psychology Eats. So, what's eating you? Well, today I am talking about Sha'Carri Richardson. Real quick, Sha'Carri is a track star and athlete at the top of her game. She's only 21 years old. She was set to go to the Olympics, and also participate in some other games leading up to the Olympics. And she, of course, as an athlete at that level, there are a lot of things that they can't do. And one of those things is smoking marijuana. They can't take steroids, they can't smoke marijuana. I don't know about alcohol, but marijuana is something that they are not allowed to do. And they get random drug tests, and they get scheduled drug tests. And so what happened was she tested positive for weed, or THC. Now some people say, some I've heard some bloggers say that she ate an edible, knowingly ate a edible, and then some bloggers have reported that she actually smoked like a blunt. So here is Sha'Carri talking a little bit about, this is before she got her consequence, I believe. Her consequence now is that she will not participate in the 100-yard dash, meter dash, and nor will she participate in the relay race. And at this point, I don't even know if they're going to let her go to Tokyo or wherever the Olympics is planning to be in the next. It's Olympics in the next 2 years, 3 years. I don't know the timeline. All I know is that she's not going to participate. But for me, as a clinician, my concern for Sha'Carri, um, smoking, ingesting marijuana when she knew what the risk would be, is the real concern for me when I look at her and look at her life, from what we know, um, her attempting to cope with the pain of losing her biological mother, which to me is another, there's some layer of pain and hurt with her referral to her birth mother as my biological mother, tells me that she didn't raise her. Tells me that, the way she hugged her grandma, that her grandma raised her. What happened to her mom? Why was her mother absent from her life? Was it a drug addiction? That kept her mother from being her mother, kept her mother from mothering her. And so that gives me more concern as to why, during her pain of losing her mother, or finding out that her mother had died, from a reporter told her, your mom died. Like, so that tells me she didn't have a relationship with her mom. She didn't know where her mom was. She didn't know her mom. That that's pain. That's pain on pain on pain on pain. And if she used marijuana, which she admitted she used marijuana to cope with pain, is a concern for me, for her, as a clinician. That is a concern. So her getting caught could be, is what she needed to save her life. Because if she's using a substance to manage hurt and pain, and it works and it makes her feel better, then she will continue to do that and hurt herself even more in the long run. So people are like, oh, it's racist. You know, Phelps did it. He had weed. You know, he got his consequences. He got consequences for that also, lost endorsements, all of that stuff. But I think what we have to look further into for these athletes is the potential to use drugs to manage their anxiety and depression and everything that goes with becoming an Olympian. An Olympian. And so once again, this is where psychology comes in. You know, are the Olympics providing their athletes with mental health services? Is there a psychiatrist on board? Are there mental health clinicians there for athletes to go and talk to help them manage the stress of being an Olympian? Let's listen to Sha'Carri. What now?
Judge me because I am human. I'm human. I just happen to run a little faster. I understand there's going to be people that still have something to say that don't necessarily understand. And I wouldn't let's even call them haters if they want to choose to show their character of a person, even after me saying what I've said, and putting myself out there, then that's just on you, your character, and you have to live with that. But I greatly appreciate being able to tell my side of the story. And like I said to my fans, my family, my sponsorship, and the haters, I greatly apologize if I let you guys down, and I did. And I just want to let y'all know this will be the last time the Olympics don't cheat Sha'Carri Richardson, and this will be the last time the U.S. Doesn't come home with a gold medal in 100. And I feel Sha'Carri lines up against me.
Sha'Carri, before I let you go, I think about you and the highs and lows that you've had to deal with, and your dream came true. You dazzled everybody with your performance, but also your words, your hug for your grandma. You've been through so much, and we'll see what happens and what this decision is. But do you plan to keep running? Are you going to keep those Olympic dreams alive no matter what?
Yes, this is just one game. I'm 21. I'm very young. Unlike most, I have plenty of games left in me to compete in, and I have plenty of talent that backs me up because everything I do comes from me naturally. No steroid, no anything. This incident was about marijuana. So after my sanction is up, I'll be back and able to compete. And every single time I step on the track, I'll be ready for whatever anti-doping agency to come and get what it is that they need, because this will never happen.
Sha'Carri Richardson, this is, as I said before, not easy, not an easy moment, but you showed.
So it's back to for me when I look at Sha'Carri, I'm sorry, and her life story, which I don't know a lot yet. We don't know a lot of the life story. I'm making some assumptions just based on I don't believe her mother was part of her life. And for kids, I just talked about this in a live about black folks and our trauma not being recognized and not receiving the proper treatment. And it sounds like for Sha'Carri, not having her mother allegedly present in her life has traumatized her in such a way that to cope with the death that she didn't even know had happened, she turned to a substance to do that. And for me as a clinician, I'm concerned about her for that. Sha'Carri will come back, you know, Callie B, Cardi B said it best. Like, all right, this has happened. You got your consequences. You're going to move on. You're going to move forward and you're going to be great. And that's it. Move forward. Think, go forward, you know, with the next part of your life. And you're going to be great. And I hear that and I want her to be able to do that. But this is the time for Sha'Carri to to really deal with the hurt and the pain of whatever has happened to her in her life, because coping with that type of hurt and pain using a substance is going to be bad for her in the future. I don't want to see her get to the point where she's smoking weed every day because that's how she copes, or she needs to do cocaine to cope, or other drugs to cope. No, no, she needs to figure out and she needs to find healthy ways to manage this pain and this trauma. Because this girl, this is trauma. If she was abandoned by her mom, where's her dad? We talk about the death of her the death of her mother. Where was her dad when she won that race? Where was daddy? Grandma doesn't look to be in the best shape. So she just has an older grandma. Where is her father? Where her mother had just died days before and she didn't even know. So the world the world cracks me up. In the United States, we're making weed legal. We're making it legal, and now our kids are going to see weed as it's legal. We can do it. That's how you can chill out. You can manage your feelings on weed, and it is going to continue. It's going to snowball and snowball and snowball until we have this epidemic now of people who are high as Cooter Brown because they are attempting to deal with their feelings, which is why we have alcoholism at a high rate in this country. We are living in a opiate epidemic. I'm sorry, an opiate epidemic, because people want to deal with hurt, pain through altering their mood through drugs and alcohol. So for Sha'Carri, for me, the Olympics and all that, like, it's a bigger story here. There's so many layers to this. PTSD for black people, you know, unresolved trauma for her as a little girl, not having her mother and a father allegedly. Understanding her pain, understanding her hurt, her understanding it. So during this time when she's not allowed to participate in some of these games, she'll have time where she could get a good therapist. Sha'Carri, find a good therapist and work through this, because if you don't deal with your pain is going to deal with you. And that's exactly what happened, which is why you smoked that blunt or you ate that edible knowing the consequences that would come from it, because she didn't have another coping mechanism that she could use. Let me call my friend. Let me call my therapist. Let me meditate. Let me take a walk. Let me take a swim. Let me do something else that's not going to put myself at risk. And then who was around her who said, whoever passed that blunt or gave her that edible, you need to get that person out of your life. Get that person out of your life, because they're not looking out for you. So now my concern is, who are you surrounding yourself with? Because that was my friend, and I know she had all this at stake. Girl, you not smoking this blunt. As a matter of fact, I'm not even smoking near you. I'm not allowing you. I will fight you before I let you take this edible. and risk your whole life, your career? No, ma'am. So she need to look at who is around her, who she allowing in her greatness. So that's it. That's all, everybody. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.